everybody, you're tuned in to 91.8 The Fan. You're in my corner, and I have a returning guest in the corner. Would you like to unveil your not-so-secret identity?
It's Xanthe Huynh! Ta-da!
Oh my God, that was adorable. That's the best way to start the day. Lots of
Alright.
moe. But no, it's so great to get a chance to talk with you. I think the last time we got to talk was, oh gosh, a few years back. It's been a while.
Yeah. That's when I was still kind of new too. So,
Yeah,
I hope I've matured in the last couple of years.
well, you can't mature too much because then, you don't have that kawaii desu in the booth.
Yeah, the sparkles don't work quite the same then.
Yeah, the sparkles and the shoujo bubbles and the flowers, all that fun stuff. Uh, but it's nice to get a chance to catch up with you because I remember when we initially talked, you hadn't been in as much video game work as you had been now. In fact, I believe a game that you're in just came out last month on April 28th, and it's got a really cool premise where you basically get to raise these idols.
hmm Yeah, I think it's really cool because yeah, they're it's in this kind of weird world where they're idols, but then they also are able to go out and save the world, and it's all live broadcast for everybody to watch. It's kind of crazy.
I mean, it's a little creepy, but I think so. I really like simulation-esque type of games, so as soon as I saw it, I really wanted to pick it up. And you get to play one of the main girls.
Yeah, she's so adorable. She is the most reluctant when it comes to performing on stage and being an idol, but when it comes to fighting, she gets really excited, almost too excited. But yeah, I really loved playing her because at times she was always just kind of the whiny one, like, I don't want to do this, but I have to. And then she gets really into it, and she, yeah, I thought it was a lot of fun just being the whiny one.
Well, no, I have to wonder because in my experience with doing anything in voiceover or even on the radio, especially when I started, I got super nervous. So were you able to channel that when she didn't want to go on stage, kind of think back to your early days?
Oh, absolutely. Oh my goodness. As much as I love performing in front of people, I always get butterflies. And so I'm wondering if this is sort of just like my inner child that I kind of locked away. Like, I don't want to think about how nervous I am, but I'm really nervous that I don't want to go back on stage and like somebody else has to kind of drag and push me on. And then once you're in the spotlight, you can't go back. You just kind of have to go for it.
Definitely. I think that's a really interesting character, and for anybody who hasn't picked up the game, I'm fairly certain it's on PSN in case you don't actually want to go to a store and get out of your pajamas and go pick it up. But it's for PlayStation 4, so I hope a lot of the fans out there are picking the game up because I think it's so unique and so interesting.
Yeah, so please try it out. I think it's really cute. I haven't had the chance to play it myself yet. I remember that when I first went in to record, the producer had asked me like, "Oh, have you heard anything about the game? Have you seen the footage just to get an idea of what it's like?" And I told her that I had looked at some of the trailers that were available in Japanese, and there was one in particular. I don't know if I think it should be in this version as well, but there was like a weird option where you could have make them learn dances and do little performances, but then you can also like throw things at them. It was very strange, but I find it very unique to this particular game because it just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. But I thought it was so funny.
It's like, no, you're doing a horrible job on stage and you throw tomatoes at them. Like,
Yeah, you throw bombs and then they just like fly off stage, and you're just like, why can you do this? But okay.
That's what you do to the ones that aren't your waifu. That's totally how
Right?
you get
My
rid of the ones
spine
that
should
aren't
be
your
the
waifu.
star.
Yeah. That's fantastic. No, I love that. So yeah, I have to ask since we haven't gotten a chance to talk for a while. Now that you've been in more video game work, do you do you have a preference towards video game work, or is there something unique about it that draws you back to it?
Mm, well, I definitely do like it just because, in comparison to anime dub work, I don't have to match it to a mouse flap, so it takes a lot of that technical aspect out of it. So a lot of times I'm more in the moment, and it goes a lot quicker because I can just do the line, and then if the director has any comments, then I just take that in, and I can perform the line again without having to do certain adjustments. Like when I do anime recording, there are moments where he's like, "Okay, that line was great, but we need you to do it again because it didn't quite fit right. So we need you to do the last two words a little bit slower and the front part a little bit quicker, just so it matches." And so you're thinking about the timing, and so it kind of takes you away from the acting portion of it, but you still have to, still perform well. And so it's a lot that you have to juggle and just try it, just go for it without giving it too much thought at the same time. So it gets really confusing if you stop to think about it.
Well, that's the fun part of the job, right?
Mhm.
But
And
it's
it
it's
challenges.
yeah, it's got a lot of challenges, but it's got a lot of rewards. I think since the last time we talked, one of your characters actually got to be on TV on Cartoon Network r/Toonami, whichever one you want to say. Yeah, because Sword Art Online was on Toonami, and you voiced a character in that
Mhm.
as well.
Yes, I played Sachi, and she appears in like about the third episode, pretty early on. And I feel like, up until that moment, you don't get a full grasp about how um, the whole situation with, what happens to characters when they die. And, you know that there are people that are dying, but then you don't really feel the impact of it until that episode. Spoiler for anybody that hasn't seen it. Um, but yeah, I feel like my character had a really important role in the growth of main character Kirito. But yeah, I really liked playing her a lot because she was also one of those. She's kind of like me, in that she has a lot of insecurities, but at the same time she still wants to be there for her friends. And I thought that was a really cool message to have for the show.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's would be really interesting to be a part of that project because so many people loved Sword Art Online. It was at the time, and still even now, Art Online or Titans is kind of like the thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well,
But no,
I haven't had the chance to see the second season. I guess you can call it report online too. But yeah, I forgot what I was going for with this remark.
yeah, I do believe that they're on the second season, and that's the just Sword Art Online 2, and that's a different game entirely, from what I know. I can't say I've seen it either. So for all the fans out there that, are gonna come after me with pitchforks, sorry, I had
I
to
know me
move.
too. I'm sorry. It's on my to watch list.
I know that pain. I know it well. But I believe there's a lot of other projects that you've been working on too. Now, for the fans out there, are there any specific projects that you want them to know about or to look forward to? That way, they have a chance to keep track of that and pre-order it and pick it up.
Yes. Um, the second volume of Yuki Yuna as a Hero is coming out next month. And then the third volume comes out in August, I believe. I really hope you guys will check that out because it's my first time playing like a starring lead in an anime, and I think it's a great show because not only does it have like the magical girl hero aspect where she does a lot of like heroic fighting, but you know it has a lot of slice of life moments where the girls are just being friends and living out their normal lives. Um, I I can't say anything else about that because it's just such a great show. I love the friendship that the girls have in that, and particularly with my character Yuki and Togo. They just have this cute, like, wonderful bond that, and I wish I had more with all of my friends. Also coming out end of next month is Alone in the Sea. I play Muna Shildame. I think that's a beautiful anime, and it's about the sort of a feud between people that live in the sea and on land. And my character in particular, she deals with a lot of relationship issues, be it with family or with her friends or love interests. And I feel like it's a very relatable series. So I hope you guys will check that out as well.
I saw that when that was simulcasting on, I believe it was Crunchyroll for that one.
Mhm.
That show is absolutely gorgeous and it has so much emotion, and I won't spoil anything for those who haven't seen it. I totally want to go back and watch it in English though, because I'm sure that there were instances in the booth that were just so, heavy and drama filled.
Yeah, I feel like that character is probably one of my most mature characters to date. I mean, with all the things that she has to deal with in her life, even though she's so young, and like it's just showing how much she comes to understand when it comes to relationships with people, and how she matures and grows from it all. Um, I don't know how much into depth I should get into that for people that want to watch it, but yeah, I'm really excited for that show.
And I believe
And the
that's,
music track is so great.
oh, it is. And I believe that's NIS America who's releasing that in the US for those of you interested in grabbing it. It's up for pre-order now. I'll be linking that in the live chat for anyone who is interested. I highly recommend seeing the show if you haven't. It is so good, and as I said, I'm really excited for the English dub, just because it's so interesting to see how when a show that has so much, emotional depth, when it comes over, how it's approached in the U.S. Because, to us in Japanese, it might not it seem very natural, and then when you watch it in English, you kind of want to see if they, where they go with that, what emotional journey you guys set with that.
Mm-hmm. And also, like,
And it,
at times, like, with that character in particular, she has these moments where she also has these outbursts with, like, her best friend. And I felt like that seemed really realistic because you're going to always agree with everything that your friends are telling you, even though they have your best interest at heart. But I felt like that was also very cool to see because like I said, it deals with like almost all aspects of different relationships.
yeah, it's a very deep show. So I hope everybody out there picks that up. And now for the fans who want to get a chance to, see you in real life and talk to you in real life, do you have any conventions coming up where they could possibly get, these wonderful purchases signed?
I don't really have any appearances lined up at the moment, but if any of you guys would like me to come and see you guys, then you should give a little nudge to your head cons. But just a couple months ago, I went to pre-con in Florida as a guest, as a returning guest, and I think I love that staff because they're always really accommodating and kind. And I think the only con that I have planned to just go as a con goer is for Anime Expo coming up in like a month. But yeah, I don't know if I'll be able to set time aside just to meet and greet fans. I'll try to if I can. I mean, it's always so crazy because I'm always doing a lot of things, and usually I'm like helping out, and so I feel really guilty anytime when people try to come and say hi because I feel like it's always really brisk, and I would love to commit more time, but like it's so crazy.
No, I totally understand. I mean, specifically with Anime Expo, it's such a a conglomerate of people in like a sardine can
Yeah,
that
it's
I kind of
it's
just send out
huge.
five people
Yeah.
and say go have fun. And I mean the lines now for registration are so huge. Some people get stuck in registration for hours. It's insane.
Yeah, I can't believe it. It's awful. I feel like they every year they try to improve, but sometimes it's just with something this size, it's just so hard to get around. But hopefully you guys won't be stuck up there for too long. Bring lots of water. It's so important to bring water.
Oh, I know, especially in the heat at that time too, because I tell people I live in Vegas, and I tell people, in the summer, hey, wear shorts and drink a lot of water,
Hmm.
and a lot of people just kind of assume in California you can get away with it because it's by the beach, it'll be fine. No, it's still really hot.
Nope, 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 nope. Yeah. And like every year, you always see a couple of people that kind of get carted off because they're just not taking care of themselves. I mean, I understand that, you spend a lot of money to go to a con and you want to do everything that you can, enjoy everything while you're there, but it's so important to take little breaks to feed yourself and get something to drink and rest. You don't want to calm yourself to death.
Yeah, that doesn't sound very good. I mean, I've been in situations too where I've seen somebody who I've sat them down and they're getting really red in the face, and that's always kind of scary. So yeah, definitely you can't live on Pocky, you can't live on soda. You need water,
Mhm.
you need actual food.
Mhm.
So um
Exactly, and soda will dehydrate you.
y- yeah, and it'll dry out your throat. It's just not it is not the prime choice. But for the fans out there who, can't see you at an event because right now you don't have anything necessarily planned besides Anime Expo, where can they keep up to date online and interact with you?
It would be best to go to my Facebook fan page. I try to update that the most. I also do have a Twitter. I post up random things for that. But if you want like more information about like voiceover stuff that I've done, Facebook would be the best choice. And I also have a YouTube that I put up random videos every now and then as well. So if you are interested in that, there's also that. But yeah.
Well, just for the fans out there, I've linked the official Facebook on the live chat for those of you who want to throw a like that way. Uh, and you can keep
Oh,
up to date
thank
with
you.
your latest releases on your Facebook as well, correct?
Hmm.
Yeah, so for everybody out there, definitely follow her Facebook. And I just have to say it's so nice catching up with you and seeing essentially how far you've grown because when we first interviewed
Thank
you, I think it
you.
was our second year as a station, and so
Oh.
it's
Well, I didn't
interesting to
realize that
see.
because you guys are always so professional.
Oh, thank you. No, that makes me feel warm and fuzzy inside. But no, we really appreciate that, and it's just nice to see how both of us have grown in our respective industries, if you will.
Yeah, yay! We're growing, yay!
More power. No, I'm kidding. I mean, out of sheer curiosity, if you could go back in time, is there anything you would want to tell your past self about maybe voiceover or what you're doing that would make it easier on them?
If I could go back and tell myself.
Yeah, that's one of those
Mm,
tough questions. That's one of those questions on the back
yeah,
of a popsicle, you know,
like you
or
need
like
to
a
improve on
popsicle
everything.
stick.
Look at all these things that you've done. um, well, I think in the beginning years I was extremely stiff because I was always really, really worked up and nervous. I still get like that when I start new projects, even now. But back then I was always so stiff and so nervous, and so I felt like every time I started a new project, the first day would be it felt like the longest because oh my goodness, I messed up and then I get fixated on that and then I couldn't get over it and then it kind of got some of the later reads and I was like, oh man, everybody thinks I suck, I'm gonna get recast. But if I just loosened up a little bit more, then I think I would have enjoyed it more. I mean, not that I don't enjoy it. It's just I got worked up in my own mind a lot more than I should have. But sometimes, you just gotta believe in the training that you've put into yourself and let that kind of take over and be more in the moment and, present for your work.
That's extremely relatable, honestly. I think some of the first few years when we would do conventions or panels, that was really much more nerve-wracking than sitting in my room talking to you guys.
Hmm.
Granted, I always do kind of get the adrenaline rush right before an interview, even still, just
Hmm.
because it's almost like programmed kind of into my brain at this point. And I feel like if I don't have the adrenaline rush, I'm not going to do as well. It's kind of something pushing me forward, you know?
Yeah, that's what I tell myself now because I still get really nervous for things, even for this interview. I have to tell myself, okay, I'm just really excited, this is going to be really cool, it's going to work out, and I just can't let myself think of all the horrible things that could happen because they haven't happened yet. I don't know if it's going to go badly.
Well, I can say that our listeners love hearing you, and we're very happy to have you back on the show. And I have to thank you once again for coming back. And before we end this interview, I'm wondering if there's anything else you want to tell the fans out there. Any words of wisdom, dating advice, predictions for the end of the world?
Hmm. Well, um, just for general advice, from my own experience, I've always, kind of relating to what I was saying just a moment ago, whenever I do interviews or appearances, I always get really nervous because I don't know what's going to happen. And I've learned over time that if I just relaxed and kind of was myself, then I enjoyed myself a lot more. And it seemed like other people enjoyed being with me because I was not stiff and unapproachable seeming. Dating advice, I think it's really important to have good communication. It's always really important to talk to the other person if you are having any concerns or problems. And it's good to talk to other people for advice as well. But, in the long run, it's the other person that you really want to work things out with. And I think the last one was weather predictions. The best way to find out what's going on is just to walk outside.
You're like the only one I know who's actually given me all three. Everybody kind of zones in on dating advice and then gives me some wacky answers.
Well, dating is different for everybody.
I
And,
think
it's something that we're all interested in, so maybe that's why there's, lots of different ways to approach it.
yeah, like a blanket answer of underpants, I've had some funny ones on that one, but no, thanks again so much for being on the show, and for any of the listeners out there that missed any of this interview, don't fret. You can find it on the website within the next few days, so keep your eyes peeled to 918thefan.com and your ears tuned to 91.8 The Fan, where we play everything you want and nothing you don't.